Welcome to the Warehouse. Have you ever heard a sermon and thought, how in the world did he discover that? Or where did he get that idea? Every week at Cornerstone Church, two teams dig into the biblical text that'll be taught during our weekend services. We spend hours talking about the text, the context, the culture of the time, you name it. But you can't stuff all that into a 30-minute message. That's where we come in. We're going to show you the stuff in the warehouse that didn't make it to the stage. Hey, Nathan, what is your go-to conversation starter?
You know, I actually talked with Tebow about this over lunch today. So my go-to right off the bat is always, hey, how's it going? That's how I start. But then whenever they provide like a response to it, I will almost always say like, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? And I don't like to ask just a like a closed-ended question where they can just say, I'm good. Like I want something that forces them to expand like on what their life has been like a little bit. And then I'm looking for a connection point. So that's my go-to. I do still, I mean, if I'm just passing in the hallway, I do still give the like, how's it going? Mm-hmm. Or what's up? And it always cracks me up that people invariably will answer the wrong way. You know, where you're like, what's up? And they say,
great.
Good. And I do it too. I try my hardest not to, but I think that's my typical train.
Yeah. When somebody asks me how I'm doing, since I spent years putting that mask on and just automatically saying fine, I stop and I look up and I do a little diagnostic. And then I either say, doing good, or survive and advance. Yeah. So that does pay in. My defense mechanism was for years let's get the spotlight off of me. And so I became really good at finding out everything about you. And so I ask questions about your job, your family, your interests. And then when they try to come back and say, yeah, I love rocket science. How about you? I say, yeah, I enjoy underwater basket weaving. Mm-hmm. Tell me more about rocket science.
Yeah.
And that was my thing. So I'm really good at small talk and asking you about who you are and how are you doing and everything about you. But it was because I didn't want you knowing anything about me.
I fell victim to this scheme of yours.
Yes.
I feel like I was like, man, I feel like you're opening my eyes. Have I been doing this my whole life?
Oh, wow. Welcome to group therapy with Nathan, Jay, and Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah, you have.
No, I definitely have. And I remember specifically, Jay and I were in an intro to biblical counseling class together, and we were just like getting to know each other, talking. We had like I don't remember even the prompt, but we had like just a couple minutes where we were supposed to like kind of practice the fact finding part of counseling. And we were supposed to like flip and halfway through and talk, and you just asked me questions about my nerdy board game hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
And I told you everything you wanted to know about Gloomhaven.
Yes.
And you listened and acted like you're interested.
Oh, no. I was interested.
You were interested.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you look pretty genuine right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Because if you just act like you're interested, people are going to see through that. And so it's weird. I am really interested about whatever is coming out of your mouth. And then I'm just going to dig down on question after question after question. Yeah. And that's one of those things. I had a buddy of mine, we hadn't connected for years. And so we had lunch a couple months ago. And he told me the next time we had lunch that another old friend of ours had talked. And he said, hey, I saw Jay last week. And he said, oh, great, man, how's Jay doing? And he said, I have no idea. Because the entire time we were there, it was me doing that thing that, you know, I don't have an issue with people knowing me or seeing me anymore, but I've still got that same conversation style of, I'm just going to ask you question after question because it's pretty cool.
How about you, Stephanie?
I'm just still over here like, I do that all the time.
Ooh, the redirect?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about my life. I want to hear about you.
Yeah. I want to know all the things that are going on in your life. Is this a thing? Am I like...
It could be a defense mechanism.
Okay.
It was, let me be clear. It was a defense mechanism for me. So that doesn't mean it is for you.
Okay. That's all I got.
Did we just change the direction of this podcast?
Wow.
Are we going
really
to go into a counseling session?
I mean, this all sets up our conversation today pretty well, though, because we're doing like a special one-off. Not one-off. I mean, it's probably going to be for
3 off.
a 3-off. Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
And last week we didn't have a podcast.
Yep. So this week we're launching into a marriage series, and we're going to talk about 3 specific components of marriage that make a healthy marriage. And that's going to be friendship, intimacy, and covenant.
Yeah.
And so rather than doing our typical like exegetical walk through one particular text, we're going to go a little bit more topical for a few episodes and talk about what does the Bible on the whole have to say about friendship. So it's going to be a little bit more scattershot of us going through and saying, hey, here's something that the Bible says about friendship. Here's something that it says, and kind of pulling it together. So you've got some more info in your warehouse as we're going through the sermon.
Because a lot of times we go into a marriage series and I at least go on autopilot and think, all right, we're going to hear about submit and lead. And then that's going to be the realm of it. And so digging in these 3 weeks and these different aspects where, those words are going to be mentioned, but they're not going to be the focus of what's going on. So I'm excited.
Me too. And so something for me that's kind of neat with this is, so I started working at Cornerstone 6 months before I got married. T and I were already engaged and stuff, but we were in the middle of planning our wedding. And so I started working at Cornerstone. And so my entire marriage, like we've been at this church. And so anything a lot of what I've learned about being married has come through teachings here. And so I've actually heard Michael teach through this same kind of framework before. We did a marriage retreat, talking about these things. And it was really helpful for me.
About how long ago?
So I started working here 13 years ago. It was probably 11 or 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Very early in my marriage. And so like a lot of this stuff, I'm like, hey, this helped me a lot. So I'm excited to see it help all of us a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And so week 1, we're going to delve into friendship, and we are going to take a kind of a sky view of the idea of biblical friendship. And Michael's going to dig deeper into connecting that to marriage itself, but we'll be able to talk through a few of those things as well.
And I think, so as we were talking about how to approach this, one of the things we were discussing is like friendship is a broad topic that the Bible has a lot to say about, like what's it mean to be a good friend. And so we'll talk about it like the broad concepts, and then we'll also take a dive into like, okay, so what's that actually mean within the context of a marriage?
Sounds good. We should probably start with Google's definition, right? A person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Which, when I think Stephanie found that one when she Googled it, and Nathan specifically was like, that's in there? The part about exclusive of the sexual or family relations. Because we do have this cultural idea of friendship versus relationship. And it was fun in the communicators meeting. We even touched on talking about arranged marriages versus our culture of falling in love before you get married, and this idea of falling in love, and how someone in an arranged marriage has no context for what's that mean, fall in love, but we're married.
But I wonder, so I'm thinking about like we really like stories even whenever they have to start out that way, but then you see the relationship develop over time and they build a friendship. It's like
Fiddler on the Roof.
I've never seen or read or watched Fiddler on the Roof. Is that the story there?
Tradition.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so there we are. Yeah, building into a friendship, because even unless you were friends and then got together, that most of us weren't friends before we got married. We dated and totally different things.
I will say that was, so my story was actually, my wife and I met at Shawnee Community College. We were in music theory classes. The first time we were ever like in the same spot together that we know of was for, I think it was the Charlotte's Web musical. I was playing in the pit and she was on stage.
Not the
And-
pig.
I thought you said the pig.
No,
You are not Wilbur.
some pig. And so we just got to be good friends, both in the music program there. And so then for us, we're like, man, we really enjoy being around each other. Do you think we should consider like dating? So anyway, we were friends first.
Very cool.
I know that's not everybody's story though.
Tis not. Yeah, Rachel and I met at a church camp that I had never been to before, but was volunteered by the director to help with the dorm, help the boys in the dorm. And I knew somebody who was pulling bunk beds out of the top of a dorm, and it was 100 degrees that day. And I was laughing at him because I was going to the air conditioning to meet my friend to find out what I had to do. So I laughed at him for lifting this heavy thing in the heat. I walked about 10 steps, and I heard this angelic voice from behind say, you could give us some help, you know? And turned around, and there she was.
Wow.
That's magical.
That's romantic.
Our first connection was her yelling at me. And by the end of that week, the last day of the week, somehow we were talking as we were leaving, and somehow I carried her bags to her car, and it was like one of those, how did this happen kind of moments.
Like, hey, would you like to yell at me for the rest of our lives?
Yes. And she said yes. And so for us, it was, our friendship really has developed over these last few years. My parents were divorced when I was young, and Dad was absent for a lot of that. And so my heart was locked up a ton. And that's why my defense mechanism kicked in, is because I was hurting so much that I couldn't let anybody in. And she was their closest, and she could see that the facade I'd built was fake. And she was trying to pay attention to the man behind the curtain. And so once that broke down, now I'm finally able to engage in a relationship that's beyond what I thought it had to be. So building a friendship.
I think it helps a little bit to establish like just the context of marriage as we're going into this. So I think one of the most important things is just to say, like, where did marriage come from? And so we see in Genesis, after God's created everything, and then he's created Adam, he said that everything is good. And then he looks around and says, Genesis 2:8 says, then the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him.
Yeah. I forgot the article that I found yesterday that we all kind of joked about, but it was this idea that our first problem wasn't sin, it was solitude.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, that really hit me.
Yeah. It's the first thing that God said was not good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was us being alone. So we can just jump in. We're just gonna read through some verses. There's a chance Michael's not going to touch some of these, but
Yeah,
we're gonna hit them and talk about the idea of friendship in general and tie it in.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Stephanie, you want to pick one? You want to read? Okay. She's shaking her head no.
You guys can't see
It's
me.
good. The audio format is good for head shakes. So Ecclesiastes 4, because when we think deep friendships, we think Ecclesiastes.
I know I do.
But yeah, so
Good
Ecclesiastes
wisdom
4,
literature.
9 through 12, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A three-fold Ooh, a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
So what do you guys see from this one? Like, what are some of the standout points in it? And this is like, again, this is friendship in general, and then we can take it and apply it in like marriage specific a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. The first thing you see is good reward for their toil. That we're going to toil, that there's going to be hard work, there's going to be tough times, there's going to be trudging through the muck and the mire, but with two, there's good reward for it. There's this expectation that I'm going to need somebody else, that I will need somebody else. They will need me.
I think the reciprocity of that, so that you just called out, like that there's going to be a time that I'm going to fall down and I need somebody to help me up. And there's going to be a time that my buddy's going to fall down and he's going to need me to help him up. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Friendship's built on me always being the strong one, always rescuing this one. That's not a good idea of friendship.
Yeah.
And how often that view does leak into marriage as well.
Yeah. And I for sure like have experienced this. Like there have been both like in just general friendship and in marriage. So like there have been plenty of times where I've been struggling like emotionally and just feeling down, or I've needed, or like the most practical stuff. Like a lot of my friends have helped me move multiple times.
Right.
And so in both of those, I've just been like, man, I am so grateful to have these friends around. And then Tia and I find in our marriage as well that like the way it generally works, and this is not like a law or whatever, but like the way it generally works is, if I'm feeling down and stressed, most of the time she's doing pretty good, and she's going to be able to like help pick me up and stuff, and the reverse is true as well. So it's just neat the way God makes friendship work like that.
Yeah, and I've noticed that these last couple of years as I've gotten more emotionally healthy, being in that spot of being able to be the strong one, being able to be the one who lends the hand, and how much that has helped Rachel be like feel safe to struggle. You know,
that's neat. Stephanie, is there anything that stands out in that verse to you, like that really grabs you about friendship?
I'm really quiet today. But the only thing with this I brought to the table with this text is this was the one that me and my husband used at our marriage, like at our wedding ceremony. And so it was really good to, let's see, a few years back, Michael talked about how like this is not talking about the husband, the wife, and Jesus being the threefold cord. That's talking about like binding together. But you got to explain it yesterday. That was really good, Nathan, on like describing it on what Michael meant. I almost said Nathan.
Sure, yeah. And so we were just talking about, it's like, it's not that like the principle is not true for marriage, that you know, but it's not specifically a marriage passage, and the threefold cord, like you said, does not refer to you and your spouse and Jesus. This is like Hebrew poetry, so you've got that progression of 2 will do this, 3 will do this, and it's just like showing that it's just like really reinforcing the point that that we need each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so true whenever we just think about God in general. Like he was within perfect community before he created us.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that was Ecclesiastes 4. Anything else pop out at you?
Not for me. So just walking away from it, I just think like the biggest thing we get there is that we see, you know, our need for one another, and that it, like our lives are better and even more productive whenever we're in friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. Hebrews 10.
That's my favorite.
24 and 25. That's your favorite?
That's my favorite verse.
Take it on.
And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as it is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. this is just one of my favorite to like kick people in the butt. Like scripture says, like we need to be in community and we're not to do it alone. And that to me just really shows it here. And so it's one of my favorites.
That's good. A lot of times people tend to think of this as just a get to church verse, passage, that it's just, all right, don't neglect meeting together. Don't neglect waking up on Sunday morning. But yeah, it's much fuller. It's much more intricate than just talking about church.
Yeah, I view it as like almost as the Verge level that we have going here at Cornerstone. Verge is whenever you have 2 to 3 friends that you get with each week or every other week, and you discuss the hard things. And that to me is this.
Yeah. Side note: if that word Verge is something new to you, reach out to us. We'll tell you more.
I think something that I really like about this, and Stephanie, you pointed this out yesterday, is this let us consider how to stir up one another. It has a lot of intentionality and thoughtfulness behind it.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, hey, whenever you're together, it's going to happen, that you're going to be encouraged. Although you are encouraged just by being together, but there's the let us consider. And so I know that like about my friends, I really, really appreciate the fact that they pay attention to how I'm doing and then they think about the specific words that they can offer me. They're going to help me to grow and be more like Jesus. And if that's true in our friendships in general, it should definitely be true in our marriage. For me as a husband, I should be thinking about how am I encouraging my wife in the gospel? How am I stirring her up to love and good works?
Yeah. So thinking about this, I'm guilty of as being one of those who just every time I read this verse, thinking this passage, thinking that's a church verse. Everybody get to church. And I've taken, some huge hits is a weird idea, but this hit me harder over the last day since we talked about this yesterday. Like, oh my gosh, consider how to stir up one another to love and good works. And I had the chance, even this morning. So Rachel dropped me off at the church this morning, and on the way, she was talking about a struggle she's having. And we were talking through it, and I used, Nathan, one of the things that has frustrated me so much about your friendship with me is I'm struggling through something, and you just, with those blue eyes piercing at me, calmly ask, so what do you know to be true? And I just sat with that for a moment, and I got to ask Rachel that this morning. Rachel, what do you know to be true in this circumstance? And so we talked through that, and she drops me off at church, and we're here in the parking lot, and I asked her if I could pray for her as she starts her day, and it was just a really sweet moment of me like being emotionally being able to be in this place where I'm able to see Rachel struggling and consider how I can stir up love and good works in her by that simple question that you've used on me that's helped stir me on to love and good works. That what do we know to be true in this situation? Yeah.
Whenever I'm having a really hard day and I'm talking to Justin on the phone, we may get off the phone, but then he'll call me right back and he's like, I didn't pray with you.
That's cool.
So he does really well. So
yeah, that's very awesome.
Yeah.
So let's not neglect meeting together, that we don't ghost each other.
Yeah.
Is that okay for almost 45-year-olds to say? Parker, is that okay for me to say? No.
Parker says no.
Yep, no. Hey, Parker, could you come and talk about ghosting?
What does that mean exactly? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so we don't drop the ball. We don't cut off communication. We don't stop answering the phone. We don't stop returning texts.
That'd be really weird if you did that to your spouse living in the same house as
Well,
you.
you can, I mean,
it could be done.
It's easy to emotionally ghost them.
Oh.
Right.
I emotionally ghosted Rachel. I'm just going to keep saying ghosted and watch Parker go crazy. The old guy. But I emotionally ghosted her for years without even.
And I love how you're bringing that up because I didn't even think of that, like emotionally doing that to someone. But we do whenever we allow the enemy to tell us lies in our marriage that makes us think that there's something going on within us that isn't there. And so we separate ourselves from our spouse and and we don't intentionally do it. And sometimes we do.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's still a part of me that wants to be right more than I want to be united are together sometimes.
Which, Nathan, you have you've talked about this before with a husband, like whenever you've done counseling with them, to tell them to always own up, even if it's 2% of it. So,
yeah.
Veto.
You don't like that? Yeah.
But yeah, so even drawing on that, the 2% part, even as Rachel historically has been talking to me, and she would say, and you never do this, or you always do this. That's the thing I key in on to get out and to save myself is
well, there's that one time that I
exactly. I don't always do this. And that's
with
my
your
escape
hands
route.
that big.
Oh yeah, I get animated.
Okay, all right. First Thessalonians. Do we want to move on to that one?
Heck yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to read it.
Oh, therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing.
Yeah, so to build up is often used in the sense of strengthening, establishing, and causing it to prosper. We see in Scripture that rebuilding is used in Psalm 69:35. God will rebuild the cities of Judah. Jeremiah spoke of God's intention to build up and plant a kingdom in verses 18:9. So just here, it's to strengthen, to build up there. Just so.
Yeah, it's past the construction phase.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we picture building each other up as construction, but it's reinforcing, getting ready for a flood. A FUD? Elmer's going to go rabbit line. Getting ready for a flood.
Rabbit season.
And so you're getting the sandbags out. So there's a season, not mine, of course, but someone's mother-in-law is coming to visit. And so you've got to get the sandbags out and ready to go.
Is that why you're going to deep fry a turkey?
No.
Oh, okay.
She got one this year.
Yeah, and so I think it's whenever I'm looking through this is one of the one another's in Scripture, and anytime we run across the one another's in the New Testament specifically, it's talking about the way believers interact with one another. But the reason we selected this one, because I think there's something 51, 55 of them throughout the New Testament. Yeah. And if you ever want just a lesson on how do we behave, not only as friends, but as brothers and sisters, as family in Christ, then just look up every time that the Bible talks about one another. But we picked this one specifically because of the the encouragement and building up aspect, the way that whenever we're in a friendship, we know that they're real friends because we sense ourselves becoming more and more like Christ through that relationship. That it's not just that we have a good time. We do have a good time being together, but we know that we're being built up and encouraged by it. And obviously if that's true of friendship and being believers, brothers and sisters, that should be true in our marriages. We should be looking for opportunities to encourage our spouse, and to build them up, to help them feel even more empowered to do the things that God's called them to do. And I just think so many times in our marriages, we're doing the exact opposite of that. We're tearing down.
Yeah. We want to win.
Yeah. We're discouraging and tearing down.
Yeah. Even passively doing that as well, because really there isn't just a middle ground where the building's staying the same. It's we're either being built up or we're being torn down. And so, it's an active thing. One of the things, just as you were talking, one of the things I talk about in First Steps when we have it is a quote by Andy Stanley. He says, "The primary activity of the early church was one anothering one another." And cool. Man, how boy, I just challenged myself. How much healthier our relationships, our friendships, our marriages would be if we focused on going through those passages like you were talking about and start one anothering one another.
Yeah. I want to do just a quick mention. So this is a short verse, but it stood out to me, and I thought offered a neat additional perspective on friendship. So Job 6:14 says, "He who withholds a kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty." He who withholds kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty. And what I read in that just hit me was this idea that some of us have a tendency to if we are in conflict or if we're upset with somebody, to be a little passive aggressive and like withdraw our like a sense of warmth from the relationship. So it's like, yeah, we'll still be around each other, but I'm intentionally going to like give you the cold shoulder some, not going to be as warm and inviting in this relationship. And so I just see this, he who withholds kindness, if I withhold that from you as my friend or as my spouse, that's akin to me forsaking the fear of the Almighty. And so it's like, man, as friends, we should be present and offering that warmth and kindness, and we should be doing the same things for our spouses. And I think that's an important part of friendship.
Yeah. Man, oh man. But it sure is frustrating when you're angry with each other and being kind to one another. Man.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody this week about how, after you've had that fight as a married couple, like even after you've worked through it, there's kind of the residue left of just I'm not sure I necessarily want to sit on the couch with you right now.
Oh yeah.
And just encouraging, like press into the relationship, like don't avoid. Sometimes you have to act yourself into feeling a particular way as much as you want to, feel yourself into acting a way.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. This kind of brings up something we found from Tim Keller. You found and wrote it into the document that I didn't see. But so he writes about friendship in the Proverbs, four qualities that Proverbs shows about friendship: consistency, honesty, vulnerability, and blessing. So this idea of consistency is here. A friend loves at all times, and a brother's born for adversity.
Yeah.
That we're not fair weather friends, and we can't be fair weather spouses.
To be clear, Michael was the one who sent me those 4. So I did not find them on my own.
Very nice.
Credit where credit is due.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so I think, and I feel like this is some subject material for like all kinds of like teen dramas or whatever, right? You find out who your friends are whenever stuff gets hard, and if they leave whenever your life gets difficult, then they weren't really your friends. But it's there because it's true.
Oh yeah.
Of
Do you
life.
want a list of those?
The friends who left you, or the teen dramas?
The teen dramas.
I know that's a sweet spot for you. Go ahead.
Really? No, I won't. I'm going to spare. I'll spare you guys.
Yeah.
We may have watched several over the snow break from school. But I just had this idea. I don't know why adversity made me think of it, but I remember one time in particular, we were mid argument and I was mid raised volume statement to my darling wife and realized, oh, crud, she's right. Mid me telling her why she's wrong and realizing, and then working through and vocalizing that with the same arm movements at the same volume. And now I'm just realizing that you're right, and I'm sorry, and I love you, and you're wonderful. And it took her a little while to like hear that and not think that I was sarcastic. But even in the midst of me realizing I'm wrong, mid yelling at her, there she was at all times, accepting that and in the same volume. And I forgive you. It's good times, really.
I'm sure in this verse, like the context is more that the adversity is like something that's inflicted from outside. I think it still rings true for stuff that happens from within as well. So like you're one of the things that I remind myself all the time is that like conflict is always an opportunity for growth and for a relationship to be strengthened. And so I think for a lot of us, it's like whether it's marriage or just another friendship, we're like, man, we've been fighting. Surely that means that there's something wrong with this relationship. And sometimes there is something wrong, but we need to recognize that like any relationship is going to have conflict in it because you put two humans together that have their own sin struggles and their own egos and stuff. But whenever there's real friendship in the middle of it, you can make it through, you can weather adversity and know that on the other side of it, like you're stronger.
Yeah.
So don't run from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lean into it. Colossians 3:12 through 14. Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another. And if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you. So you also must forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to live out when you're angry with each other.
I'm getting pointed at to talk now.
Yeah.
Just how important this is. Like, we forgive because God forgave us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's really hard to lay aside our hurt and our pain to forgive our spouse or a friend. But here it says, like, we are to put on humility and kindness. So it's important for us to just always remember, like, he did it for us, and so we should do it for those around us. And we're not holding on to anything by holding bitterness within our hearts.
Mm.
Like, if we are walking around unforgiving people, regardless if it's a friend or a spouse, like, what are you gaining from that?
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
that we gain from, like, bitterness and anger.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And it's like this, the very fact that this has to be written in here kind of talks about, partially what I was saying just a second ago. If there's the command that you need to forgive one another, there's the assumption there that you will damage one another, that
Yeah.
you will do something that offends, you will sin
yeah.
against one another. It's
Yeah.
part of the human condition. It will happen in your friendship. It will happen in your marriage. And so then this gives you the, like, what do you do whenever it does?
Mm.
Yeah. Love it. You guys ready? You want to talk about next one?
We should.
Okay.
another Proverbs.
Proverbs 13:20. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
I didn't see that we put this one in. This is phenomenal. But I'm sorry, darling. You said yes, so you're in my company.
Oh, you're not a fool.
Oh, thank you. That was too long. A pause between my last statement and you saying that.
I laughed with you. But I think it's been said from the stage many times. And I feel like it was at Bainbridge it was said, but show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
So
Fellow new people, the place the church had a building before this was Old Bainbridge Trail.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
people not know that.
9835. That was the address. Parker, did you
Aw.
remember that? The address?
He was young.
You need Bainbridge. Okay. Cool.
He was young.
He was just a baby.
He was a wee little baby.
Twinkle in his mom and dad's eye.
Oh,
That's not true. He was born before you guys got here.
Speaking of twinkles in the eye. Wait, no.
What?
that's next week.
That's next week.
Oh.
Stephanie's grossing out over here. Okay.
Proverbs 27:9.
Mm-hmm.
Oil and perfume make the heart glad, and the sweetness of a friend comes from his earnest counsel. Oof.
What are you saying oof about? What is that hits you?
I have often over the years resisted counsel.
Ooh.
Yeah, because competitiveness and wanting to win, and if you twist, you twist Ephesians 5 just right enough, you can get to a place where I don't need to be taking counsel from you. I'm the one who gives counsel. But that's when you read the totality of Scripture, that just isn't something that should be happening. Is the sweetness of a friend comes from his or her earnest counsel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the great ways that God gives direction in our lives. So we go to His Word, we talk to Him in prayer, but we also ask for godly counsel from our friends.
Yeah,
and I know that that's been a majorly important part of my life as well. And I've definitely made worse decisions whenever I haven't asked for it, and better decisions whenever I have.
Oh yeah. 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 The worst part about being with a spouse who is wise and discerning and really smart is that they're right a lot of the time. Yeah. Which is, it should be the best part.
Yeah.
So so talking about those things, I mean, seeking that wise counsel from the one who knows you better than anyone else in the world. That is something that is hard to do, but it's also, man, if we can tap into it, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
Maybe we should read some words of Jesus right about now. From John 15.
This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends.
Yeah, I've always had one of those theoretical things of, hey, of course I'd jump in front of a bullet for you, you know? And it's one of those things where you're like, I really hope that that's true. You know, I don't ever want to be faced with that situation, but I really want it to be true that I would lay down my life for one of you guys. But this idea of making the laying down of your life just a daily thing that we're doing, just as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, being living sacrifices, that it's somebody who, you put your life on the altar in the morning as you start your day, and you keep it there throughout the day as a living sacrifice, serving and sacrificing for those you love.
Yep. So this should be a marker of Christian friendship is sacrifice for one another.
Yeah.
That we would lay our lives down, and then by extension for our marriages, that we should be, like, husbands should be sacrificing for our wives should be sacrificing for their husbands. It is the way that relationship is designed to work.
Yeah.
That it's not you give 50% and I give 50%, but both of us give 100%.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah. Yeah. It's so much more than just pushing you out from in front of a bus as it's speeding by and taking the hit. It is sacrificing my urge to be right and my desire for comfort, and making sure that my friend, my wife, is the one being covered in prayer and sacrificed for in service, and as we follow Jesus, who lived the same.
Yeah.
So back to Proverbs 27:6. This one, oh man, such a strong idea in this short verse. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse or many are the kisses of an enemy. Man.
This is one that I feel like I actually really enjoy, because I love whenever my friends call me out on my things, because like our whole identity should to look more like Christ. And so here I would rather like a friend to tell me the ways that I could be doing something a little bit different, and it may hurt, but there's truth and there's love within that. And as long as you're saying it, in a kindly manner, right? And you're not being a jerk about it, it's fine. So I love this verse and encourage it very much.
Yeah. And so the idea is that, like, an enemy may seem like your friend and you may feel great around them because they're flattering you all the time, but they're not willing to say the hard stuff. And so, like, on the surface, you might want to be around people to just that say great things about you all the time and make you feel good. But we need friends who will tell us the truth about ourselves, because they love us. And so sometimes that also needs to be the case in marriage. Now, we should not be looking all the time to, like, just wound our spouse with our difficult truth. But whenever we do like offer that kind of feedback, like, we should be like doing it from a place of love, and we should be, as the recipient, we should be like very willing to receive that kind of feedback.
Yeah. But to me in our marriage, like it's way easier for me to hear from my friends the things that I'm doing harshly or something that's not as well. I feel like I can handle receiving constructive criticism better from a friend than I can my spouse. Because just the roles. Sometimes I feel like it's just harder.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's you're not alone. Definitely not alone.
Thank you,
But
Jay.
Yeah, faithful are the wounds of a friend, and it makes me think of Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron; one man sharpens another. That it's not a pleasant process for iron to get sharpened. There are shards and there's dust
Burrs,
around.
Burrs?
Not bears.
I didn't say bears. I said burrs.
It'd be cool if there were bears.
Still not saying a bear.
So
Burr.
So as we're sharpening each other with that idea, being full of grace, that those wounds are a sweet feel eventually.
Yeah.
But I guess going back, I've historically, I'm getting better, but historically I've been the same. Like, man, you won't believe this, listen to this that I read from this book. Oh my gosh, I've been so impacted by this. And she says, I told you that 3 weeks ago. How can you hear this from a book and not from me? And so over the years, that's hit really hard because there was something. And part of it might be that old competition mindset. But there for a long time, I had trouble hearing that wise counsel from Rachel, who is full of wise counsel.
Oh yeah, she's a counselor.
It's so awesome. My first word was frustrating. But yeah, so as I'm, personally, as I'm growing in that and living in grace more, man, it's so good because she is a faithful friend and her wounds are, man, becoming awesome.
Yeah. Yesterday, I think Stephanie, you might have brought this one to the table, and I really like it. So Romans 12:10, love one another with brotherly affection, outdo one another in showing honor.
Yeah.
And that's something I remember the first time that really clicked for me because I can be a competitive person. And this idea of outdoing one another, I'm like, okay, I'm in. And then what are we outdoing one another in? Showing honor.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to go out of my way to do a better job honoring you than you do honoring me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, what would life be like if rather than each of us trying to like inflate our own ego and be right and like have honor shown to us while we put other people down? Like, what would it be like if we sought to honor one another as much as possible?
Yeah.
If that's where we were competitive.
Yeah. Win at showing honor to you.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And so then think about that also, like just take it to marriage. If you think of like, hey, the realm in which I'm going to be competitive is I want to show you more, like as much love as I possibly can. I want to show you more honor, like than you can even show me. Like if that's the way you're competing, that's going to be a healthy marriage.
Oh, yeah.
And doing it silently and not saying, hey, I'm going to spend the next month trying to outdo you in honor, and just start doing it. And, oh my gosh.
I'm just going to brag on my wife for just a second. So she knows that like my love language, like one of the top ones for me is words of affirmation. And she consistently, and I don't know, like she's naturally an encouraging person, but I also know that she's intentionally an encouraging person. And so the number of times where she will just say, hey, like this morning, she's like, hey, thank you. You did a great job noticing that I was feeling kind of down last night and just coming and talking with me and putting your arm around me. And you're really good at that. And it's just like, that just like fills my love tank.
Yeah.
And she just does a really good job with that. And she's just going out of her way, being competitive, outdoing me and showing honor. And it just makes me want to say like, man, what can I do to show my wife that same kind of love?
Yeah. Boy, I had to grow in that because at first I would hear, hey, thank you so much for loading the dishwasher. Thanks for getting that trash out when it was supposed to. And I heard, and so I'm like, why are you thanking me for something I'm supposed to be doing? And so it was one of those things that my heart had to soften a lot in that. But yeah, there is something about outdoing somebody with honor, and man, now I kind of the same. I get all gooey inside when she says she here's this thing I noticed.
Yeah, and I think so. This is just something like a lot of times what ends up happening is we get in just this ridiculous cycle as a married couple where like the wife doesn't feel loved, or the husband doesn't feel respected. And so like, because of that space, we're not likely to extend love or respect to the other person. And like, it really takes one person to break the crazy cycle there. It takes one person to say, you know what? I'm not going to respond with the way I'm feeling. I'm going to instead outdo in showing honor.
Isn't that Emerson Eldridge's book on
Emerson Eggridge?
Eggridge.
Yep.
Eldridge, Eggridge. Same thing?
Yep. Great. Love and respect.
Yep. Crazy cycle.
We probably have time for like one more. Stephanie, do you want to pick which one we do, or do you want Jay to pick it?
Oh, I don't know. I liked the next, 1 Peter 4:8.
Let's do it.
Through, I think, 10. Because
sounds like a
you
great
only
choice.
wanted to do through 8, and I said through 10.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins, showing hospitality to one another without grumbling. As each have received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. I loved this one because it says, show hospitality to one another without grumbling. Like just how we were talking about, like doing things for our spouse or for a friend without being like, I don't want to do that. Like we need to do those things with love because that's what we're supposed to be doing for one another. I'm really good at loving people. Like, and I'm not meaning that in a boastful way or a haughty way.
Right.
Like if you were to ever talk to me, I love people a lot. What's that? What's that one look for? No?
Nothing. No.
Okay.
Go for it.
Anyways, so like to serve one another, this is something that I enjoy doing is helping people. And so just, this whole aspect of like, it's a gift.
Yeah, I've definitely been, I've definitely not done a great job with this at times. So like there, like I will do the thing, I'll take out the trash, or I will wash the dishes, but I give a couple extra.
I think everybody does that for sure. Like slightly slams the cabinet door a little harder than should after I put the dishes away. Yeah.
I just need you to know that I'm doing it, but I'm not super happy about it. Yeah. And then I have to come back and say, hey, I'm sorry. I had a really bad attitude about that, and I was being selfish.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome that you apologize for that.
Yeah. Not so awesome that I'm regularly selfish.
That went deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually in that verse, one of the things that I really liked about it was the keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. And whenever I hear that, man, I remember Greg Donaldson way back in the day. He helped coach me on like your options whenever you have something that's been done against you. And your first option is to overlook an offense. And Proverbs says it's to the glory of a man to overlook an offense. Second option is that you have to go to that person. If you cannot get over it, if you cannot choose to just like bury it and like genuinely not be offended by it, then you have to, Matthew 18, you have to go to that person and talk with them about the way that they've offended you. And I love that this verse kind of captures that. Love covers a multitude of sins, where it's like, hey, because I love you, like you may have said that and it might have been slightly offensive to me the way you said it. But I know your intent and I can choose to let it go. Or I know that like, if I find that I just can't stop thinking about it, then I'm going to come to you because I love you, so that this has an opportunity to get covered. So I just think, in the way that we deal with conflict within marriage and in just our friendships in general, like having this kind of love allows sins to be dealt with in the best possible way.
That's good.
Man, Well, all right, guys. Thank you much. Week 1 of a 3-week series on marriage. Looking forward to the others. But so a tendency, I think, is if someone isn't married to hear this marriage.
Yep.
Oh, we got 3 weeks of marriage. Oh, great. Maybe I'll go on vacation on the couch these 3 weeks. But this in particular, this week, talking about friendship, I think that's foundational to us as a whole. And so hang with us. We're going to get through it.
Absolutely.
So once again, anything, just like Tammy a couple weeks ago, who wrote in with questions, just like Emmy has before as well. But she more made fun of my pronunciation than,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
You got made fun of on Sunday too.
I sure did.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Hey, I enjoy it. If you want to make fun of pronunciation, grab us, write us. But
He lovingly cried. He just told you how you say it. Yeah. It wasn't making fun.
yeah, even if you're making fun, I'm good with it. Email us, guys. Thanks so much. We will see you on the flip side.
On the flippity flip.
Yeah. Say bye, Nathan.
Bye.